My primary interest was in the world of Aora due to Pillars of Eternity, and I thought maybe Avowed is going to be the next big thing, and even if it isn't the next big thing, I really, really love this universe. And so some of my first videos on the channel were about Avowed, about the lore, about the factions, about the gods, this sort of thing. Specifically about the world of Aora, meant to serve as an introduction to this universe. And I remained optimistic up until very, very recently.
Well, welcome back, you absolute stellar legends. So today we're doing a follow-up video to the Avowed pricing video from Spell and Shield. Here's their video. So today he released a follow-up to his video that I reacted to, and he's pretty much realized that he was wrong about the game. The game is actually woke, and how crazy people are actually involved in this game. So his video is about 10 minutes, so we're gonna watch a good percentage of it. So here's the thing that you guys have to understand. So the reason why this stuff doesn't work is because Obsidian might not have anything to do with Montreal, but Sweet Baby Inc. is in Montreal. It's their basis of operation, and so is Ubisoft. Ubisoft might have offices in Europe as well, but everything is usually superseded by the Montreal studio. So the reason why this stuff will never work is because we have two completely different cultures. We have the American culture, which has freedom of speech, and then you have the Canadian culture, which we do not have freedom of speech, which is why in Canada, so I'm a lot more based than I'm legally allowed to be in Canada, and I'm always being careful with what I say, what I post, and things like this, because there are things that I could say that could get me in trouble if it's interpreted in a manipulated way. But pretty much in Canada, we have things like Bill C-16, which pretty much makes it a crime to misgender, dead name, and all these things. Pretty much the community is completely protected by laws and the government. That's why I jokingly call them the government's chosen people. It's a joke, but it is what it is. So we are not allowed questioning them the way the US is allowed to question them. That's why they're trying to make the US like Canada, and that's why the US is collaborating with Montreal and Sweet Baby Inc. in order to make where you live the land of the free like Canada, where you are not allowed questioning things that are protected by laws and the government. So that's why this stuff does not work. It all originates in Montreal. That's where I live, by the way. It all originates in Montreal. That's why so many of these studios, I was looking into it, I can't find any traces of Obsidian in Montreal, but there's a lot of studios that open up branches in Montreal. Sometimes it's permanent, but sometimes it's also temporary, because in order for Sweet Baby Inc. to work with you, you have to be a Canadian company. And with some loopholes, just having an office, temporary or permanent, in Montreal or in Canada gives you the luxury of being able to work with the Sour Patch Kids. Alright, so if you guys enjoyed the video, YouTube decided to stop recommending my videos after President T was elected and after I made those videos. They hate my hat. That's why I don't wear the hat anymore, unfortunately. They demonetized a few of the videos, and they pulled ads from most of my videos now as well. It really, really sucks. I can't even pay YouTube to recommend my videos, so I'm really pissed off about this. I have quality ads, by the way. So if you guys enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment. I don't care if it's a great video, I don't care if it's a generic comment. Just drop a comment in the comment section subscribe if you guys actually want to see more of these videos. There's always stuff to be watching on the channel, so without wasting more of your time, let's watch and react to Spell and Shield's video.
I need to say at the outset that when I first made this channel, part of the reason why I made this channel was to talk about Avowed. This was at a time when...
Alright, so the guy created this channel, Spell and Shield, I'm sure with the hopes of becoming partnered with Avowed. And now, unfortunately, his dreams have been crushed because he realized this game is garbage. And these people are vile.
we all thought that Avowed would be this sort of dark, gritty, epic RPG. But my primary interest was in the world of Eora due to Pillars of Eternity. And I thought maybe Avowed is going to be the next big thing. And even if it isn't the next big thing, I really, really love this universe. And so some of my first videos on the channel were about Avowed, about the lore, about the factions, about the gods, this sort of thing. Specifically about the world of Eora, meant to serve as an introduction to this universe. And I remained optimistic up until very, very recently.
I have played the violin.
When it was initially revealed that this would not be the dark, gritty RPG people thought it would be.
So yes, this is a real violin. Hope you guys like that part. Alright, so, yeah, poor guy, disillusioned. If only somebody could have told him how wrong he was about the game. Oh, what's this? What's this? Somebody did try to tell him. Whoa. Who's got two thumbs? This guy.
I remained optimistic because I thought, these are people with an interest in Eora. They're interested in building a compelling world, and so it might not have...
Such a sweet, sweet, naive kid. Such a sweet, naive kid. Having faith in a Western developer. All he had to do was look at the team that was making this. The poor guy.
Have the dark, gritty tone to it, but I still thought this is going to be a good game. I remained optimistic and...
What made you think this was going to be a good game? The game looks bland and generic. This is one of... I don't know if this is an NPC. This is an ambassador in the game, apparently. Nothing stands out about the game. Pay attention to the environments. All you're going to see is brown, gray, green, and some sky.
Maintain this optimism.
And magenta.
Up until a few days ago, when I was running defense for Avowed in light of the pronoun controversy. I remained optimistic up until about yesterday, or the day before, when I discovered that this unhinged, moronic lunatic,
Matt, the social media-induced schizophrenic,
Matt Hansen, the art director for the game, decided to show his true colors. Up until then, I thought, okay, I don't like the stupid pronouns, but whatever. We can ignore them, and there's probably a good, solid basis to this.
If you think pronouns are stupid in games and whatever, I 100% agree with you. They are stupid. If you're hoping to partner with this stupid studio and being against this culture, bro, there's no way that they were ever going to partner up with you. Especially if you're white, because I'm pretty sure you're a white guy, right? By the way, I like this guy. I'm not mocking him or anything. I like this guy. That's why I'm reacting to his video, and I'm going to show you guys the comment I left on his video, and I also subscribed to the channel today.
This game, despite that. And that video was made before Matt Hansen went unhinged on Blue Sky or Twitter or whatever. And I'm sure many of you know about what he said, but in a nutshell, he insulted his customers. He basically told his customers that they're stupid,
yep,
and he wants nothing to do with them. To say this was unprofessional...
So he's calling the customer stupid. So don't forget, this, if you look at the team, this guy was hired, and they knew what he was about, and once the game was ready for press release, they let him go. And where's the proof? Very easily. Nobody is saying nobody's trying to rein him in, not even Xbox.
Is a bit of an understatement. But he went full mask off, unhinged. You can go look it up if you want.
I'll show you guys screenshots.
And this, more than anything else, pisses me off. I do not have the words to express my disappointment.
Poor guy.
My anger, which I'm trying to keep in check here, about what's happened.
Look, if you want to avoid disappointment, don't have any sort of medium hopes. Your hopes for a Western game to be good should be over here. 20% and below. If it's anything above 20%, especially if it's a AAA title, and you have hopes above 20%, you are setting yourself up for massive, massive disappointment.
I ran defense for this idiot's game.
He did.
Because I thought this would be a good game. It still potentially could be a good game.
No, it won't. Us content creators that hate this garbage, we're going to do whatever we can, which is why I'm going to encourage you guys to subscribe even harder. We're going to do the best that we can to help Matt Hansen successfully, we're going to help him succeed in bankrupting Obsidian. We're going to make sure that these losers, these activists, never work in a company again. Anytime we find out they're working in a company, we will go after the company, and we will also withhold our money, because the only effective activist is the customer. Why are we the only effective activist? Because we have their money, and whores always want money. But these whores are anti-capitalist. So what do? That's right. They bankrupt whoever hires them. How are you guys not putting two and two together?
Underneath the surface of all this nonsense that's happening. But I ran defense for the game because I thought it had a solid core. And what does this moron do? He goes on Blue Sky or Twitter and tweets ideological nonsense to piss people off intentionally.
Yep.
And specifically to piss off the customer base.
Yep.
I want you to imagine something. You're working in...
His Twitter account is protected, by the way. He's so brave that he protects his tweets. That way, nobody could make fun of him and call him out on his stupidities.
The business.
Brave guy.
You have a customer who pays you a lot of money, but he's fat and smelly. He pays you a lot of money. Is it worth insulting him so you lose his business? Now, I know a lot of people in the United States, and specifically in California, are very progressive. They're obsessed with this ideology.
Yep.
And that's fine. But keep it to yourself.
They can't.
It's not your job to go onto public platforms like Blue Sky or Twitter.
They need everybody to know everything that's going on in their minds, because they are open books. They want everyone to know all of their business, and they want you to accept all of their business as a norm.
And insult your customer base. Your job, Mr. Hansen, apparently, as far as I'm aware, is to be an art director for this game. Not to lecture people, not to insult them, not to lose your mind in the silly American politics of the day, and certainly not to own the chuds.
These people have a form of schizophrenia.
In my humble opinion,
you cannot convince me they don't.
Has breached the parameters of his job. Now,
he has.
The only way this can be saved at this stage is for Matt Hansen to apologize publicly to his customers, for Obsidian to come out,
I disagree,
condemn his statements, and apologize with him, because on top of this, as disappointed as I am, what I found even more disappointing was when I saw that the esteemed Josh Sawyer...
So I completely disagree. I don't want Matt to apologize. I don't want Obsidian to apologize, because if they do, it's just going to be performative. If you look at the team that was working on Avowed, you will understand that all of these people are Matt Hansen. They are Legion. They are a hive mind. You can only work with these people if you think exactly like each other. And if you don't think like each other, you get cast out. That's why so many of these senior agents employees are gone from all of the great companies. Blizzard, Bethesda, that stupid company that made Dragon Age, Veilguard. They root out the good people and they only leave the corruption because the good people fight against the corruption. And then they get exhausted and they're like, okay, I'm taking a package or I'm quitting. That's pretty much what happens. These people are evil. They're fucked up in the head. They have some sort of social media induced schizophrenia that compels them to do this stuff. And I don't know if they understand what they're actually doing, but they feel compelled to sabotage and destroy everything they touch, including their own families. It's so messed up, man. It's so messed up. We live in normality, in reality, and you look to your left, and there's a parallel reality happening right there, and you have to act like it's normal. No, we're all tired of this, man.
Retweeted some of the moronic posts that this idiot had made. Now, why is this disappointing? Because I've always had a lot of respect for Josh Sawyer. I always knew he was very progressive. That's fine. But he kept it to himself. And he crafted games and worlds.
Bro, you knew he was
that
progressive. That
had their own politics. And he stuck to the narrative of the world.
Enough red flags.
Which you can see in a game such as Pentiment, a game about Roman Catholicism in Bavaria in the 16th century. And he did it without injecting his particular and personal ideology into the game. He made a game within the context of a specific historical era. And so to see him retweet some of this nonsense and some of this vitriol from this guy is very disappointing, to say the least.
I've been seeing some videos where people are actually finally talking about what I've been talking about.
Was when Matt Hansen
Magenta
went on this
and
ridiculous,
purple,
crazy tirade
ultraviolet
on Twitter and Blue Sky. Up until then, I thought,
I'm
okay,
always
the
ahead of the
pronouns are
curve.
stupid. I'll play the game anyway because I'm interested in Aora.
The reason why I'm always ahead of the curve is because I live in Montreal and I work in the corporate world. I know what the hell is going on, and I always see the corporate speak, and it's amazing how I always get made fun of. Then a few months down the line, oh shit, Michael was right. Giga Vega was right. Michali, the Greek, was always right.
And guess what? I saw a lot of comments that reflected just that from other people. People who either thought that the pronouns were not a big deal, or that they were stupid but they could live with them, as long as the game was good. But the minute this bloody moron
saw my videos,
started
I
tweeting
was
these
very
things,
patient also.
Everything changed. Because nobody likes to be insulted. I've seen people claim that they are unsubscribing from Game Pass because of this. And even though they had pre-ordered Avowed,
the sky is blue, and they're going to tell you, no, that is not the sky, that is the very ground that I walk on. That's how far removed these schizophrenics are from reality.
they are now withdrawing that pre-order
Like and
and they're
subscribe,
not buying the game
please.
at all. Now, obviously, this is a small sample size, but I'm sure there are many others like that. All because Matt Hansen could not remain professional.
Yep, a lot of people did cancel their pre-orders, and I encourage any of my viewers that did pre-order the game to also cancel your pre-order. I don't know exactly how this works with Game Pass, I forget, but it's going to be available on Game Pass on day one. If you pre-order it and you spend an extra $30, you get 5 days early access if you're that stupid. But if you play it on Game Pass, it's going to be available, if I'm not mistaken, the 25th of February. So you're already paying for Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass, never had it, you can actually get it sometimes for $1 for 1 month or 3 months. Abuse this game, call it out, clip it, share it, make fun of these fucking idiot, retarded, self-lobotomized morons, activists. Tag them in your videos and your pictures saying, look, is this you retards? I've 100% encouraged that. Let's help Matt Hansen and the employees of Obsidian succeed in their goal of bankrupting their company. That way, whoever backed them contemplates suing them, because that is exactly what they should be doing. If they weren't aware of how Matt was and what they were going to do and what they were actually doing, also, I'm sorry, if you don't know what your employees are creating and you put hundreds of millions of dollars in their pockets to create this garbage, this brown, gray, green, magenta garbage, if you're not watching what the hell they're doing, you're just as stupid and guilty as they are, and you also deserve to be bankrupt. But I hope you guys sue them if you didn't know what the hell they were doing. Any backers, any producer, you have to be aware of where your money is going. If you don't like where your money is going, you pull that freaking money out. Suicide Squad on the Justice League, $200 million. Are you freaking kidding me? Concord, well over $400 million. Are you freaking kidding me?
Now, I don't love his politics, but that's not really the point. It's not his job to proselytize to the rest of the world and to insult people
The magenta
so he
spider.
can quote-unquote own the chuds. I genuinely don't enjoy talking about this sort of stuff. I would vastly prefer to talk about games, their lore, the story, the mechanics, the classes, you name it.
Then start playing more Asian games, start playing more Chinese games, more Japanese games. Stellar Blade is a freaking awesome game. Some European studios do also make good games, but if you want to make sure you're playing a better game with less of this crap, for now, because it will come into the Japanese territory as well, that's what these fucking retards, these activists are trying to do. They're trying to get their claws in Japan so they can manipulate them to become like it is where they came from, the color out of space. These Lovecraftian cosmic horrors, these people that live in a parallel reality that we have to act like it's a reality, a normal reality. Get out of here. Yeah, so they are trying to, just like what they did with Square Enix when they bent over Dragon Quest Studio so they can censor and change things in the game to be more acceptable for the US and American customers. And they didn't just stop there. They even told them, no, this can't just be an American release. This has to be the same way in the Japanese releases as well. These people these are societal R-wordists. Societal P. Diddies. That's what they are. They know we don't want something, but they still say, no, 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 no. You're going to bend it over. You're going to bend over and you're going to take it. You're going to take it. These are societal, cultural P. Diddies. You heard it here first.
I would. But when somebody does this, especially to a universe and a setting that is as beloved
I'm more
as
based
Eora
than
is
I'm
for
legally
me,
allowed to be in Canada.
I have to speak up. Now, it's a lot
You have to speak up. You have to speak up, bro.
easier to toe the line and be silent and never talk about this stuff, the political
I made
stuff.
the mistake of being silent.
And
I made the
ultimately, I would
mistake of,
prefer to do
guys,
that.
let's
And for the
patient
longest
it out.
time, I did.
And this is where we are today.
But even I have my limits. I've never seen anything like this in recent times. Someone in a position
It's
of authority
crazy.
who directed the art for an entire game, losing his mind and insulting the customer base. And I don't think that should be tolerated. So even though talking about these
It's
issues
not just
at
the art
times comes
director,
off
it's
as
the
too
writer,
spicy,
it's
and
everybody
because I don't toe
involved
the line
in the
entirely,
game
it definitely loses me opportunities. I've contacted
was aware of what was
publishers
going on,
at
what
times,
this game was.
as well as indie studios to ask for review codes, to try out games, so I can.
And I don't trust any game. I'm starting not to trust any reviewer on YouTube, especially when it comes to games like this. If you guys get an early access to this game, I can't trust you. I cannot trust you unless you're actually being honest. Like even Matty Plays. I very much respected Matty Plays, even when he was talking about the Dragon Age stuff, I very much still at that point respected him. But then when he was talking about Avowed, and he was praising Avowed, but then he was telling us that he wasn't allowed showing you the intro, and he wasn't allowed showing you the character customizer. And he wasn't trashing the game at all until kind of towards the very end of his 20-minute video. That's the only time where he actually started going a bit negative about the game, because even Matty Plays doesn't like the way the characters look. He said himself, they look weird, and the characters do look freaking weird.
Give their games more publicity, and frequently I'm either ignored or I'm refused.
So it's called access journalism. If you're positive, if they know you'll play ball, they'll give you an early access code, but you have to go with their rules. So I don't trust access journalist YouTubers anymore. Like, I'll watch their videos for some parts, but I can't respect your final review.
Which is fine, because ultimately, this is an important issue, and it's an important issue in the gaming world. You know, if you've paid attention to my videos, how many times I've talked about the fact that injecting real-world politics into games and into your interactions with the player base, the customers, is a terrible idea, and we've seen this repeated again and again and again. Dragon Age
Magenta,
The Veilguard was an example of this.
Right, so I'm going to cut the video over here. There's a few minutes left. You guys can watch it on Spell and Shield's channel. Give him a like, drop him a comment, support the guy. He did wake up, at least in the end. The wool has been lifted from his eyes. He can see clearly. Hopefully this will encourage more people to be more based and more outright with their point of views and their criticisms of games like this, because this garbage has to be shamed out of our society. I don't know how we became into a society where slut shaming is a bad thing. No, if somebody is a whore, you call that whore out. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I am going to be playing this game when it comes out on day one. Not the early access, because I'm only playing it through Game Pass. I'll trash it like I trashed Dragon Age The Veilguard, because this looks exactly like it. Only this game actually looks duller and more boring. At least Dragon Age has a style. There is no style to this. There is no style to this. This looks generic and bland. Gray, green, brown, and some blue, with bursts of magenta. Alright guys, so I'll leave it over here. I appreciate your guys' support. Drop a like, leave me a comment, I would appreciate it. Do me that favor, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright man, that is enough of that. Later.